This program is brought to you by the Genesis Communications Network, a world leader in talk radio since 1998. Visit GCNlive.com today.
Broadcasting and streaming live all across America. This is Home Talk USA with Michael King, where we will discuss topics pertaining to your home with industry-leading experts. Michael King is a licensed general contractor with more than 30 years of experience in home improvements and the author of Contracting with the King. Join us this hour for our segment Invent America with your co-host, the Inventor Lady, Rita Crompton. Discover what's next in the home improvement industry and explore new products and innovations. Or if you have that next great big idea, learn what it takes to bring your invention to the world. As Michael King and Rita Crompton talk to America's inventors and innovators. Remember, the America of tomorrow is being invented today. We invite you to visit us at HomeTalkUSA.com, one of the best resources for home improvement information around today. Your best life begins with your best home, and there's no place like Home Talk. That's HomeTalkUSA.com. And now, we proudly present Invent America from the #1 home improvement radio program in the country, Home Talk USA, with your host, the Cajun contractor, Michael King, and his co-host, the Inventor Lady, Rita Crompton.
Yahoo! Welcome to Home Talk USA Radio Network. This is the Invent America segment of our show, part of our Home Talk USA family. We want to welcome all of you across the nation. It's all about education and information. That's what we do here each week and every week. And now I'd like to welcome my sidekick and co-host. They call her the Inventor Lady herself, Miss Rita Crompton. Rita, how you doing?
I am fine, Michael. It is so good to be here with everybody.
Well, you know what me and you have in common now? You know what?
What's that?
Number one, you live out in the mountains. And number two, I am in the mountains. I'm in the Ozark Mountains in Brantford, Missouri right now. I'm at the Little League World Series that started this week. My grandson is actually playing and participating, and so after this segment, I'm going to have to run out here. I'm gonna have to bail out on you, Rita. Can you handle it?
Oh no, we will do our best. It'll never be as good, but we will do our best.
We have a great audience, and they are really good, and they've been with me for well over 20 years. So. We're excited. But, hey, this is episode number 1039, Rita, and we're excited. We got that big countdown, of being the most longest running home improvement self-help show in the country. You know that?
That is wonderful. It's a pleasure and an honor to be part of that.
Well, good. Well, we got a lot of information. We got a great show, and but hey, I got some exciting announcement. People don't realize the money it costs us to produce a national radio show. It's astonishing. And when you came aboard, it kind of, you came on as a guest and you didn't realize till you got involved to say, whoa, it's a lot of planning to put a show together. It really is. And we need sponsors. And, we don't charge for interviews here. We're not a pay-to-play network. And we're proud to say right now that the Invent America show has our first sponsor of the show itself, Kicker Design, LLC, right? Addison Shelton, right?
That's right, and we're so glad to bring them on. And it's amazing how often inventors say, "I need some help with a prototype," and that's what Kicker Design does. Is that they take that unique positioning. A lot of the inventors now, they've done their first prototype, but now they need what we refer to as the manufacturer's prototype. So Kicker Design can actually work you through. Here, I've got some drawings on note paper, all the way through then to the manufacturer's prototype, and help you get teed up for the manufacturing part of it. So they're a wonderful go-to company. And if they can't do it, they generally know somebody who can and say, okay, talk to these guys over here because they're better at using this kind of material. And Addison has been wonderful. We've got some videos now with Addison where he was a guest, and we are real excited to bring them on board.
When we signed the contract was a couple of days ago, so we're going to get them up on your website, right, at the InventAmerica website, right?
Absolutely, inventamerica.info. And Addison's logo will be up there, and their contact information, and a direct link then to their website. So any of the inventors out there can get a hold of them. And, it was exciting. Over the weekend, I had a lady fill out one of our forms and email me through the website, and she just said, "Oh, my God, I love listening to this show. By the way, how do I get one of those TrueView mirrors for my truck?"
Well, that's what it's all about, education, information, and we definitely want to thank Addison Shelton because, let's face it, helping to patronize all our great sponsors basically keeps the show on the air because we need the sponsors, and we don't charge to be on the show, as you know, and it's a free service. But Kicker Design and Addison liked. I think they came on just as a regular guest, so they loved the show so much. They said, "Man, I want to support you." And, of course, if anybody out there wants to help us keep this show on the air and keeps the Invent America show, let me correct that, to keep the Invent America show on the air, and you want to help us out, how can they contact you, Rita?
Well, it's really easy, Rita at inventorlady.com. My phone number is everywhere. I answer my phone. Somebody said, "Why you're answering your phone?" I said, "It's because you're calling me." And so I answered the phone. And it's like, "But it's Sunday afternoon." And it's like, "Well, then it's a good time for me to answer some questions." So, we had a good conversation. I was actually the speaker in Orange County Friday night. Wow. It was 10 o'clock at night for me here. But I went and we talked about the radio show. I had people filling out the form before we got done with the meeting at 11:30 p.m. my time, and I was looking forward to crawling into bed. So, we are reaching people. We are helping to make a difference. And, the topic for today is there's just not enough time. And we've not figured out a way to either back up the clock to redo something or to invent more time. And when it comes to inventing, Michael, time can really bite you from two different angles or multiple angles. And the first one is that if the inventor is seeing, a solution to a problem, they've got to assume that somebody else is seeing a solution to the problem. And a lot of times it is the first to file. Yep. The U.S. went to first to file in 2013 instead of first to invent. And so it did become a race to file. Wow. And I get a lot of inventors that say, we got back a search that said somebody filed a week before we did.
Yeah. Well, in the Home Talk show in the first hour, we had a guy named Brian Alexander. He is with Brevin Brothers. They came up with this time lock dual shutoff valve for toilets. And the reason why I mention that, it took him 12 years to get this product to market. And after about 5 years, they got a thing called cost per point for the product. And actually, when they finally got it to market and they came up with that price point, the price point was so expensive that they had to just tear it all up and start it all over again. So, again, it is a process here,
It is, and filing the patent, so you can say we're patent pending, is just one part of the time issue. The next part of the time issue is getting the product developed at a price the consumer will pay for it, and then the next timing issue is being able to the time it sucks from you as the inventor. It almost makes it impossible to live, a family life because everything you do, every 24/7 is about the product.
Whole bunch of factors. Got to bring down that price point that the consumer wants to pay. Then you have insurance factors. There's a whole bunch of factors involved here. Well, Rita, I'm going to take a short break, and we're going to come back with our first guest, our first topic on the Invent America show. I am the Cajun man from the Bayou Land, along with my co-host, the Inventor Lady herself, Rita Crompton. We invite you to check out our websites at HomeTalkUSA.com and Inventor Lady. It's InventorLady.com, Rita?
Yes, it is. InventorLady.com.
InventorLady.com. So check out the website. We're going to come back with our first guest, our first topic. Make sure we are streaming live on the World Wide Web at the Genesis Communication Radio Network at GCNlive.com. I'm the Cajun man from the Bayou Land. I'll be right back with Rita Crompton. Don't go nowhere. Yay!
Talk USA with Michael King. Do you have questions about your next home improvement project or home repairs? Now you can chat with verified home repair and home improvement experts in just minutes. Get the help you need by visiting HomeTalkUSA.com, one of the best resources for home improvement information around today. Your best life begins with your best home, and there's no place like Home Talk. That's HomeTalkUSA.com. And now, back to InventAmerica from the #1 home improvement radio program in the country. Home Talk USA with your host, the Cajun contractor Michael King, and his co-host, the Inventor Lady, Rita Crompton.
All right, welcome to the only home improvement show dedicated to you, the American consumer. Don't forget to check out our website at HomeTalkUSA.com. You can get all the information on the Home Talk USA radio program, the InventAmerica radio program, all the information that you need on the Inventor Lady herself, Miss Rita Crompton. Rita, I tell you, you got a great show. I'm going to have to dash out of here at the Little League World Series in Branson, Missouri. You're like an All-State in APAM, and you're in good hands. But who's our next guest?
Our next, and have a good time, by the way. Our next guest is Robin Benas. He is the inventor of Bundle Buds, and Robin has been an electrical engineer, runs a electrical manufacturing company in Georgia. So, Robin, you've got a unique challenge, and we're talking about time. But tell us a little bit about Bundle Buds first.
Okay, very good. Bundle Bud is a small rectangular plastic device. I'd say it's about an inch cubed, and you could think of it as a user-friendly knot used to tie the ends of a rope together. If you ever wrapped a rope around a pile of cardboard, like for recycling, or a bunch of tree branches, or even an item to a furniture deli, for example, anytime you want to wrap something with a rope and tighten it up, how many times have you tried to do that and you end up putting your thumb on the knot trying to hold it tight? Try to put your knee on it, trying to hold it in position to try to tighten the rope up. And then after you're done, you find out the rope is not tight anyway. Or maybe you forget something and you have to untie it, retie it, and it just the neck. So the Bundle Bud being a user-friendly knot where you slip the rope through it, you give it a tug, it tightens up the rope, it stays tight, you just let go of it, takes no effort at all, very quick and easy. If you need to untie it, you just move the rope in a different direction, and it just pops open. I ran a bunch of tests, simulations, and on the average, it took 7 seconds to tie up a bundle of material and 2 seconds to release the bundle. So it's just simple, straightforward, inexpensive.
It is. I mean, when you're explaining it, it is so easy. It's so user-friendly. And, a kid can use it. An older person can use it very easily. You've got arthritis. It is a very user-friendly product. Your challenge, though, is you're still working full-time as an engineer, and now you've got a brilliant product that we're working to try to get into the marketplace. How do you balance all of it?
That's an excellent question. It's weekends and evenings. It's a few days I can do some work here. I home occasionally. I'm engineering manager, so a lot of my time is spent delegating tasks to other people. That leaves me a few moments almost every day to do a little bit of my own. It really is a significant challenge. A lot of the work is already done as far as the development of the product. I worked for a year, weekends and evenings, to develop the product. My own 3D printer at home so I can make prototypes quickly. The idea then was to secure the patents and to secure the rights. And that is done by an attorney. It's done by other people. I can work very quickly. I've had a lot of experience. I have a couple of patents on other products, so I know the process pretty well. And I know some good that can take care of some of the effort for me. I know a company that can make 3D printed products pretty cheaply and fast.
Well, one of the things that you had just mentioned, and since we're talking about time, is a lot of inventors don't understand those patent filing time issues. And so just to go over that real quickly, a provisional patent application lasts for 1 year, 12 months. And within that 12 months, then you have to pick whether or not you're going to file then your non-provisional. most inventors make the mistake of thinking that then the clock for the international started ticking when you filed with the non-provisional patent, but it didn't. It started ticking with the first filing, which was the provisional patent application. And while in the United States you can pay the USPTO to buy you out of most of your mistakes, you don't get to buy yourself out internationally. If you miss your filing deadline, again, time is not your friend when it comes to inventing, you're just out of luck to file anything internationally, and you just found that out, right?
Yeah, it's a heartbreaker in some respects. I'm taking advantage of the time. I do have a little bit of time where I can set up an application for a PCT, the Patent Cooperation Treaty, to cover myself. One thing I did not know, which it was kind of one of those things where you hit yourself in the forehead with your palm of your hand, that you have only a year from the time you first file your provisional or file your utility patent, if you're not going to go to the provisional route, to apply for a PCT. After that, then you have, I think, was it 30 months to pick different countries that you want to provide protection within. It surprised me greatly. I'm glad I heard about that. I'm glad you, Rita, mentioned it to me. Otherwise, I'd be running along complacent, not really thinking about it, and I thought I had plenty of time. So kind of saved my bacon there.
Yeah, so many inventors say, well, I thought my U.S. patent had to issue before I could file internationally. It's like, no, your clock starts ticking with a provisional patent application. And at that point, then, you need to be very much aware of timing. Timing problem. It can be really challenging.
And it was my incorrect assumption, just exactly the way you mentioned it, that I thought I had all this time. And, it would have been sad if I would have found out last minute that I missed my boat.
And I do run into a lot of inventors who should have filed that international filing, and they did exactly, what you were thinking, is that they waited too long and they missed then the deadline. And so now they've got a good product. We're talking about licensing it, but now the licensee wants to manufacture in another country, but they are not protected there. And when we're going to be talking about this, I think next week, is, as far as if you file in another country, you've got a much better chance of being protected in that country.
Well, I think one of the assumptions that people have made incorrectly, that if you have a U.S. patent, that you're pretty much covered, because I'm only going to talk to U.S. companies. I'm only going to sell it domestically. They don't realize that most companies do offshore manufacturing, so you are exposed in other countries. The company I work for makes millions of parts, but they don't build anything in the U.S. Everything is done offshore.
Just about. That's absolutely for sure. So listen, everybody out there, we want to make sure that if you need a registered patent attorney, call me. If you want to get a search done, call me. And please join us at the Inventor Roundtable meetings. We have 2 a month. They are free, and it is kind of our version of the call-in show for the radio. So websites, HomeTalkUSA.com, InventAmerica.com, and all of our thanks to the GCN Studios Network, Genesis Communications. Thank you so much for having us. And Robin, thank you very much for joining us. We'll get some video up there so everybody can see how wonderful Bundle Buds is.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for your time.
And now we are off to pay some bills. Thanks, everybody. Stick with us. We have another segment coming up.
To Home Talk USA with Michael King. Do you have questions about your next home improvement project or home repairs? Now you can chat with verified home repair and home improvement experts in just minutes. Get the help you need by visiting HomeTalkUSA.com. One of the best resources for home improvement information around today. Your best life begins with your best home, and there's no place like Home Talk. That's HomeTalkUSA.com. And now, back to Invent America from the #1 home improvement radio program in the country, Home Talk USA, with your host, the Cajun contractor Michael King, and his co-host, the Inventor Lady, Rita Crompton.
Hello, everybody. We are actually pitch hitting for Michael today, our fearless leader. He is at the Junior World Series for his grandson. So anyway, I think we can handle it. You're all going to help me. And so We've got a couple of announcements to make. We are now taking people signing up for the National Hardware Show. So if you've got a product out there that's in the beginning stages and you want to go, or if you're a little more advanced and you've got inventory to sell, please shoot me an email, Rita@inventorlady.com. Get signed up now. The first ones are the ones that get to go. If you need a registered patent attorney, call me. My phone number is everywhere, 303-910-8889. And we will help you get through the first steps, the next steps, or even the last steps. Our guest for this segment of InventAmerica is Aaron Farrer. Is that how you say your last name, Aaron?
Yes, it is.
Excellent. I got it right. And you are the inventor of the Ant tool. I've seen the videos. It's very, very cool. And so now you're at that kind of that magic space, or what we call sometimes the valley of despair, where you've put all this time and energy and money into it, and the time keeps slipping away because you're trying to get it now to be a big product, and time keeps biting at you. So tell us about the product and what it does, and then tell us about some of your challenges.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you so much for having me on. I am Aaron Farrer, or the Ant Man, as I'm sometimes called, and that's because of the device I invented called the Ant, a.k.a. the apparatus for navigating tarps, which is a padded strap that clips into the grommets of a tarp and then makes it faster, safer, and easier for landscapers, homeowners, tree trimmers, hunters, whoever is using a tarp. It makes it much easier to work with. And it looks like fun, actually, on the website. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. So when you're working full time and trying to have a life, sometimes the time suck of a product, marketing is hard. And so when you're looking at, you've done all this work, you've got the product out there, what are you doing for marketing what do you see that works and what do you see that not works and is just a time drain? What do you see that are the benefits to the time? Well, for me, it's been a lot about experimentation, trying things, seeing what does work, what doesn't, and coming back to the things that do, leaning into it. So, for example, trying to run online advertisements or making fun and creative videos and spreading them on social media. It has taken up a lot of time, but it's been fun. It has been productive as far as getting the word out there about the Ant. And, I've just kind of got to keep testing and then refining, testing and then refining. You could always become a sponsor on our show, and then we would advertise it for you. Well, hey, good to know. I'll write that down. You do that. We would love to have you at the National Hardware Show as well. And so, where do you want to get to? What is your ultimate goal? My ultimate goal before you do this as an old man with a long gray beard. Yeah, so the sooner the better. I can certainly try to get things done faster, but the reality is things happen when they happen, and sometimes you've just got to mix a little bit of luck and skill and know-how together in a pot to get success, I think, at least. Yeah. So how did you come up with this? I mean, it just seems so obvious, and yet your patents, you've got, multiple patents on it. How did you manage to do this? So I had the idea working for my dad's lawn service as a kid. He had me doing all the heavy lifting because what else do you have kids for? And that's after dragging so many heavy tarps, I just had that classic thought that I'm sure many, many people that you talk to have, there's got to be a better way. And the first prototype was born that day. And here we are about 15 years later with a finished version, the ability to mass produce and patents, and a company that I'm running, trying to turn into something that will eventually pay me and give my dad a job to come work at so that he can retire from landscaping. Well, I think it's wonderful. Where are you manufacturing right now? So it's a combination of vendors, but they're all located in the United States. That's a big part of the Ant. I love that it's made in the USA, and I intend to keep it that way. Excellent, excellent. So, I mean, we get a lot of inventors that are asking then, how do you find the right company? How did you find the right company for manufacturing? Well, I've started with the same way that I start most of my days, which is Googling how to do something, and then kind of going from there. So just Googling contract sewers and metal fasteners, and then just kind of trial and error until I got a winning combination. And then once I had a finished product, I could send that to new manufacturers and say, how much to make this? And do that until I found people that I had a good relationship with. And it's an ever-improving process, but it was definitely difficult to get started and easier now that that first box is checked.
Right. So then do you have a distribution house? Do you have everything delivered to your driveway and you do the shipping? How do you manage that?
So it's actually the latter. I do all the company stuff during the day, and then on nights and weekends, I am assembling ants, doing all of the QC myself, and fulfilling orders from the internet. And so as we scale, that entire proposition will change, but to get things off the ground, I think that's what a lot of people just have to do.
Excellent. So you are looking then at you're considered a startup because you're doing it all yourself, and your goal then is to have a standalone business that you're fulfilling orders into some of those like the Ace Hardware and the True Value, or do you plan on doing it all online?
Well, I would like to work with anyone who is willing to work with me. So suppliers, distributors, channel partners, and then hopefully still retain the rights to sell it myself. So kind of anywhere I can get it, that's where I want to sell it.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, we may be able to help you get some of those places. I know some of the guys that like to sell in Canada and certainly along the western part of the United States. Some guys that, they don't do the licensing, but they do the distribution. And they may be very, very good contacts for you.
Well, I appreciate that, Rita. Thank you so much.
And we'll get some video out there and some links so everybody can find you. It is wonderful to have you on the show, and we'll get all of that stuff out there. Give us your website, Aaron.
So the website is www.theantstool.com.
Excellent. Excellent. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Stick around. We've got another episode coming up. And find us on HomeTalkUSA.com, InventAmerica.info. If you miss all of that, just Google Inventor Lady, and I will come up and you can access all the information. Thank you.
Welcome back to Home Talk USA with Michael King. Do you have questions about your next home improvement project or home repairs? Now you can chat with verified home repair and home improvement experts in just minutes. Get the help you need by visiting HomeTalkUSA.com, one of the best resources for home improvement information around today. Your best life begins with your best home, and there's no place like Home Talk. That's HomeTalkUSA.com. And now, back to Invent America from the #1 home improvement radio program in the country, Home Talk USA, with your host, the Cajun contractor Michael King, and his co-host, the Inventor Lady, Rita Crompton.
Hello, everybody. My name is Rita Crompton, also known as the Inventor Lady, and your host for this segment. Our guest is George Peters. He is the inventor of Kettle Pizza, and he had a couple of other things, so he was not new to this. And he and his partner, Al Contarino, you can say that again, George, get it right.
Yeah, Contarino, perfect.
Invented Kettle Pizza in 2010, ended up being able to represent Massachusetts for the Made in America. You got to go to the White House. But from the let's do this idea to getting it to the White House, you had some issues as far as managing the time suck that an invention takes. And I think a lot of inventors, when they go into startup mode, don't realize how much time it can take and that you start living the invention. We always laugh and say, a good invention is like a child. You conceive it, you nurture it, it sucks you dry, and you send it out the door to grow up and take care of itself. Tell us a little bit about Kettle Pizza, specifically what it does, and then the challenge of managing time.
Rita, thank you very much for your time today. Kettle Pizza was the brainchild of Al Contarino. He called me one day, and he says, I have this idea to cook pizza on a grill. And shortly thereafter, we started making Kettle Pizza. Kettle Pizza turns a charcoal grill or a gas grill into a pizza oven. And when we started that, we started working in his workshop next to his barn. And I was working full-time at that time, and then would go afternoons and weekends to the workshop to work on the new project that we had. And slowly, it took about a year before we came to market regularly. And then we were in all the big retailers that you could name. But in between that, the time that you spend away from your family, whether you're working on your project, whether you're going to a trade show, whether you're trying to raise money, whether you're trying to talk to future retailers, is everything that it's, if you're not sleeping, you're working on your product. And I know for my earlier products when I got started, what a time away from my family who was young at the time. I should have been spending time with them. I was working on my earlier products. So it is. It's an all-in proposition when you come up with an idea and want to see if one day that you can profit from it.
Yeah, it can really, you can't get the time back. You can regret it later, but you don't get to rewind that and turn your kids back to being 10 again. And so learning that balance, and I think for our listeners, hearing what you have to say makes them take a step back and say, okay, do we really want to go into this as a startup, or do we tee it up and license it?
Well, certainly back in the day when my first patent, I should have known something was going on with my time, Rita, when your patent is awarded on April Fool's Day, as mine was, April 1st, 2003. So I should have been known I was in for a wild ride from there. So certainly,
there you go.
I knew very early on that when I wasn't sleeping, I was working on my product. And when I should have been at birthday parties or games or things like that, I was working on my product because I thought that was the way to be able to one day maybe supply a little bit more security for my family. But the security actually that they were looking for was my attention and time, which I can never give them back. And I do regret it to this day.
Yeah. So what advice can you give to our listeners today?
As everybody hears that kind of magic word now is balance. Take the time for yourself. Take your time for your family. Go and see a ball game with them. Take some vacation time away. I think looking back on it, I think it certainly has helped me as I've gotten older to put things aside sometimes and go and do something different, because you'll come back fresh. You'll come back with fresh ideas. You might meet some people while you're out doing something and not thinking about anything, and then you just write it down. But concentrate on your family because you will never get that back, and they will appreciate it more, and they will be more apt to be in your corner when your product starts to take off to help you if you find that right balance in with your family time as compared to working on your idea.
All right. So somebody wants a Kettle Pizza. Where do they go to buy one?
KettlePizza.com. We've sold them in 70 countries. And as I said, they turn charcoal and gas grills into pizza ovens.
Excellent. Well, we'll make sure that we get it up on our website, and we will talk to you later, George. Thank you, everybody, for listening. InventAmerica.info. If you want to be on the show, that's where you go to find the applications. Join us. Thanks, everybody.
HomeTalkUSA with Michael King. Do you have questions about your next home improvement project or home repairs? Now you can chat with verified home repair and home improvement experts in just minutes. Get the help you need by visiting HomeTalkUSA.com. one of the best resources for home improvement information around today. Your best life begins with your best home, and there's no place like Home Talk. That's HomeTalkUSA.com. And now, back to InventAmerica from the #1 home improvement radio program in the country. Home Talk USA with your host, the Cajun contractor Michael King, and his co-host, the Inventor Lady, Rita Crompton.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for sticking with us today and talking to us with inventors about time and how precious it is. We all know that. On the front end, it's being able to get a patent filed quickly, and on the back end, it's how much time it takes to manufacture and tee it up for marketing. It's amazing. Most people don't realize that marketing the product is the hardest and the most expensive part of the entire process and can take the most time. So join us at the Inventor Roundtable meetings. They are free. It's kind of the call-in version of InventAmerica. Our topic for next week is going to be about manufacturing in China versus manufacturing in the U.S. Sometimes you don't have a choice. Sometimes you do. And we'll look at those determiners that helps you make a good choice. So we want to thank today the Genesis Communication Network, GCN Network, for hosting us and keeping us on the air. If you've got any questions or you want to hear past episodes, HomeTalkUSA.com, InventAmerica.info, and just for the fun of it, HomeTalkTV.com. Thanks, everybody, and we'll see you, no pun intended, next week.
Home Talk USA with Michael King is produced by Home Talk Media in association with King's Broadcasting Network and Genesis Communications Network. Broadcast and streamed live from the great state of Louisiana. Host and producer, the Cajun contractor, Michael King. Executive producer, Michael Mellinson. Affiliate and sponsor relations, Joe Spera. Comptroller, Sheila Gregoire. Assistant producer, Christian Bethencourt. Board operators provided by Genesis Communications Network. And I'm your announcer, Kevin McCarthy. Music includes King's Creole by Prolific Arts, Cajun Jam by StockMusic.com, and Zydeco City by Steve Rice. Home Talk USA with Michael King is sponsored by Bonide, pest solutions for your home, garden, and lawn. Decorators, take outdoor living beyond ordinary. Aztec Washer, innovative roofing solutions. Seal it right, seal it tight. Trimislab, replace rotten or missing wood with Trimislab expansion joint repair. Masonry Cosmetics, change the color of any porous masonry with proven masonry staining. Green Products Company, #1 in wood preservatives. Preserve, protect, and clean what you value, and most of all, make it last. Bond Products, manufacturers of InstaBind, the world's first do-it-yourself carpet binding solution. Deckrite, life is tough. Make your exterior flooring tougher. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Home Talk USA with Michael King. Until next time, visit us at HomeTalkUSA.com. Your best life begins with your best home, and there's no place like Home Talk. That's HomeTalkUSA.com.
Yeah.